Should be unite instead of ignite. You know what? It should be unite instead of ignite.
Ignite.
Ignite?
Yeah,
It should be
ignite.
unite because we're better together.
Yeah, but we're starting a fire.
Oh. Well, I don't know that you start a fire, it's awful dry.
It's not our building.
Oh, that's fine too. All right, we're live, y'all. Mr. Jones, would you like to?
Yes, sir. Let us pray. Lord, we thank you for this day. God, we thank you for the honor it is to serve you, to serve this community. We just pray as the school starts back here in a couple of weeks, that you would just watch over our students as they return safe to school, for the staff as they begin to come back to the schools, the classrooms are ready. Lord, just pray for a safe and fruitful year. Lord, I pray as we go into business tonight that we conduct business in a way that be honoring to you. And again, God, just thank you for the privilege it is to live in this district, to serve this district, and God, just thank you so much for Jesus.
Amen. We're now in session.
Mr. President, I recommend approval of the agenda dated July 16, 2026.
Motion.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All in favor.
I recommend approval of the minutes dated June 2nd, June 11th, and June 26th of 2026.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All in favor.
Before we go to informational items, sir, I just want to let you know, the board know that we had 3 successful days at SLA. Ms. Bass, Ms. Cantrell, the rest of the staff, excellent job. The principals, assistant principals, and the district administrators were all together for the last 3 days working and getting prepared to open up schools here in a couple weeks. So it went very well, and they had there was a lot of it was a lot of long days. The only real issues were just getting in and out of the parking lot, I think was the major issue. But other than that, I think everything went well. So thank you all for all your efforts on that. We also have a scout with us tonight. Mm-hmm. Sir, would you like to stand and introduce yourself and tell us the school you're from?
Hi there. My name is Maddox Stout, and I am from Sparkman High School.
He's going after his communication badge.
Correct, and he's pursuing his Eagle Scout. So welcome, Maddox, and Dad, we're happy you're here. And
Good
so,
job.
With that, let's begin our informational items with Mr. Cusort and Dr. Minsky on our capital construction updates. You're going to defer to Mr. Cusort?
Is that an umbrella?
Man who carries a big stick.
I was wondering if it was an umbrella.
I'll start off professionally. So I'm excited to give you the updates of our construction and our capital projects throughout the county and throughout our system. But you know me, I always end up on that side trying to point at things. So I was trying to find something because the infrared doesn't show up on the screen. So anyway, my big stick is my pointer. Now, feel free to ask questions during the presentation or even at the end. My goal is to show you where we're at in the project, a percentage, let you see a picture of it, that type of thing. But if there's deeper questions, feel free to ask, okay? Sparkman Intermediate, we all know that one is complete. We have a few warranty items, and we do have the general contractor warranty on that for a year, so there'll be things that pop up, but they're taking care of that. One of our biggest concerns early on was whether or not we were going to have sewer to the school in time for school to start. They started this morning at 10 a.m. to schedule the final connection and the startup. There's a couple of things that they've got to get straightened out there, but they did start this morning at 10. So I see no issues of having it before school starts. That's a big update right there. And then, of course, everybody saw it, and you've already approved it. We had a substantial deduction on the building contract through our allowances and general contingencies. So. But I did bring you an overhead of it. That's a little bit before they got the grass growing, but that's our Sparkman Intermediate School. Riverton Elementary, and I skip all over the county here. I'm here to tell you about the extended car rider lanes, and we're doing that for safety to get more people, more cars off of Winchester Road. And we're also connecting the school to the sewer system, and then a future classroom addition, which will bid in August. And I've got you a picture. That's where I want to get up and go over, but I'm going to stay on this side. As you can see over to your right, where the old car rider loop come down back to the front, it goes back around the playground. The parking area there where the buses park will be the new drop-off area, and then they will exit out on the south end of the campus.
When was that picture taken?
2 days ago.
Okay.
2 days ago. They've been out doing proof rolls where we're waiting on the electricians. There's two things. Electricians right now, we have two areas that they have to get power to for our lift stations for sewer, and then all of the street lights as well. From our conversations and meetings, they have no issues. That'll be paved and ready before August the 5th when students come back. But we do have this site to the right, which is temporary parking. You know, worst case, they can still come the other way, but we've been guaranteed they will have it paved before August the 5th. And that temporary parking is where the future expansion will go. The great thing is getting this school on sewer. That's going to be a big plus for us. The Hazel Green addition, that's the addition to the high school, substantially complete. We had that inspection last week. There's a few IT items there with some network switches. We don't have the COSA card access on the doors yet, just a few items there that they're finishing up. I think furniture was delivered this week. I missed Janet when I came up here, but I think furniture is there. And then I'll show you that picture, and I'll talk about the courtyard enclosure and why we did that. It's for safety, and then the awnings as well. But I'm gonna have to walk around, I'm sorry. But this is your new addition, 12 classrooms. And what we've done with a brick wall or brick enclosure with gates, and on this side as well on the north side. And that's to give the students protection if they're walking across the courtyard. It used to just be open fencing. And we've put awnings over there as well. This school, all the students park in the rear. They all come up that one hall every morning. So now when they get just past the gyms, if they're going to one of those wings, they can go out, they're in a safe structure and under an awning to get to those wings. Should help with the crowded going down that way. Still have some parking here at our addition, but they're ready to occupy that and start using it for teaching. Hazel Green Middle School is currently sitting at 43% complete, and we are on schedule to have that wrapped up next summer before the school year of 2027-2028. I'm going to say it'll be June. They're wanting to get it a little bit before June, but by June of next year, that school will be complete. This is a picture of the school from the drone of the condition it's in right now. As you can tell, they've got some flat areas that they can start working on getting roofing there. In the front, you've got the kitchen and the cafeteria to the left. In the back is your gym. You've got two learning wings going out going north. The one on the left, as you can see, it's got most of the roof on it. The one on the right is the storm shelter. So it takes a little bit longer to build the storm shelter area. And then in the front. But I did go ahead and give you an artist rendering so you remember what it's supposed to look like. Oh, I'm gonna say too, they're working very diligently in trying to get base and binder down coming off of 231, 431 so that we can quit going up and down Bullard and get out of the school traffic. So they think they'll have that done by August the 5th, but if not, it'll be 1 or 2 weeks into that and we'll get out of the. But that's what that school will look like when it's complete. That's the artist rendering on it. It's a good looking school. Owens Crossroads, just school updates, complete exterior painting. I don't know if anybody has been out there to see it besides maybe Mr. Brooks. Replaced all of the VCT throughout the school, cafeteria, hallways, classrooms, and we went with an LVT flooring. Dr. Minsky's, we wanted to start going through the older schools. We've done 2 schools. With that, we can eliminate that summer stripping and waxing, and it should really, really help with the custodial, their staff, their time, and keeping the school ready, because summers are getting shorter every year.
I know we've said this before, what's our life expectancy of that?
It's a 20-year product. I'll say that. It's going to depend on the care. We're getting care instructions for the staff there. They'll clean it basically with that pH 7Q. You might remember that back from our COVID days, something we stock. But part of it's going to be on how they treat it. This has been here a long time, but this product here is not as good as what we've put here. This is a glue down product with a 20 mil, I think it's 20 mil, layer on top, wear surface. But if they drag things across it, move desk all the time, you know, those kind of things can shorten the life of it.
I know
But
we had a problem at the high school with the new addition, there's a little spot.
But that's new construction.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're working on punch lists there as well. But there again, it's like anything. It's going to depend on how it's taken care of, Mr. Vest. This is the exterior of Owens Crossroads. I didn't have a before picture, but if you've seen it, it is a huge difference. I mean, it makes a world of difference of how bright, more modern it looks, more inviting. And we actually had them start before school got out, and we started on the car rider end, so all the parents, grandparents, everybody could see activity and know something's coming.
Didn't we have some water issues there? Okay, well, I knew it was out that way, okay.
That's the front hall at Owens Crossroads. That is at LVT. We went with different color patterns. Dr. Minsky worked with the principals of each, and we used some color coding there that he can also use in his safety protocols at the schools. But that gives that interior a complete finished look throughout, in my opinion.
It smells like a new building. It's totally different. It smells great. It looks great. And a lot of folks out there are happy with it.
When we were walking through it doing punch lists, and you find things, they're trying to hurry, they're trying to be fast. The teachers that I did run into that were already in there doing something, they were very excited about it. Yeah,
How about the kids? The kids will love it.
I think so, if they look down. Well, they're always looking at their shoes, so they'll see it, yeah. And that's just one of the color patterns so that it's not just drab and gray all the way through the school. New Hope Elementary, I do not have pictures of that one. Replacing all the VCT in there and with LVT as well. And this is another school where we've completely, each restroom has the epoxy flooring now. We did the same at Owens Crossroads. Easier to clean. Hopefully we don't have that aroma when you're walking down the hall and go, oh, I'm walking up on the restrooms. So that school is complete as well. New Hope High School turf. That is an overhead view this morning at 5:40, and it looks like a swimming pool that they're digging. Even through with testing, we anticipated 18 inches of overburden to pull off of that job. It would not harden up. I mean, with compacting anything we were doing. So this end here has already been done. You can see the gravel on it. So basically going about another 2 feet. The next picture will give you a better picture of what they're doing. They're excavating the dirt out, hauling it off, coming back. The trucks coming back in have surge rock, and then they're covering it with 57s to get on top. That field will never hold any water on it. It's got drainage everywhere. That gives you an idea of how deep they're having to cut beyond what we thought. The big gray gravel is the surge rock they're putting in, compacting it, and then number 57's on top. The thing is, let's do it and do it right now, because this is something we won't be back working on. But they're coming along. They did schedule a jamboree. I think Dr. Minsky said they had made an alternate plan for that. We plan on them playing their first home football game on that field. There may be some fencing missing. We may have to do some temporary fencing. With this, not only did we have the soil, but we knew in the very beginning we had to move the visitor bleachers back. That field was not wide enough. So now it will meet all regulations. To add soccer to it because it's wider. So with this, it's ready to go.
How wide is it?
Yeah. Regulation. Minimal, but it'll meet regulation. You're right. Madison County High, turf field and track and field events. Good looking field. Looks a little white. You can see here where they're coming across the top of the track. They're doing all the infield on it right now. And it'll look a little lighter. You've got the two-tone green. You've got the Gurley Tigers big logo in the middle. After a rain, all that little whiteness will go away because that's broadcast like you put out fertilizer or seed on your yard. So it's resting on top right now. The track is ready. They've got to come in and do the track surfacing on it, but football, we can play football. This is the track and field, or the field events area, and that will be most certainly a sod around that area, and then some more cleanup. The Information Technology Department.
Before you go on, just with these football, the turf field projects, as part of that project, we're gonna have the entire stadium pressure washed and cleaned. So when we turn it over to the schools, it should look immaculate, ready to roll as a complete package. So they shouldn't have to come back and do any additional work to get it prepped and ready to go. So they'll be ready for that first game, pressure washed, everything cleaned up. Just like we do with these.
That's a good point. And sometimes even like at the addition at Hazel Green, because it's fenced in for so long, the lawn gets out of control. And we get that taken care of before we leave the project for the school. So, yeah,
I'm glad you backed up to Hazel Green. Where are we at on the tennis courts?
it's coming.
Okay.
Another thing you did mention, I was gonna give y'all a bunch of props on is, at Madison County High School, there was a whole lot of drainage that had to be fixed and everything too, and that retention pond, they had to redig that out, so they did a lot of work on that too,
Right.
to make it drain a whole lot better.
And the state required us to do that because we're draining close to 72, but it will be a big improvement for the future as well.
Yeah, but I see it working when it rains, so.
Okay, well, great.
It works supposed to be.
That's good. So information technology, we have an addition of 8 offices, break room and restrooms, 40% complete. I didn't do any interior pictures, but you can see it off to the back. That is not going to be a road off the back of that hill. That is the best way for them to come in and out of the construction. If not, they're going to have to demo some awnings or use more cranes, things like that. So when they finish that area behind us, they'll clean that back up and start growing grass like it used to be. We grow grass and someone comes in and cuts hay off of it. But we're about 40%. The other thing, right there in the front, every new hire walks in the front of that building. So you can't tell it now, but hopefully at the next one you'll be able to see it. We have a facade that's coming across the front. We're going to do a little landscaping in the front, taking the big white sign off of it, adding just information technology. But it's going to be a lot more inviting and setting the tone for our new employees when they come through. Right now they feel like they're walking into a warehouse. So that was an ad alternate 1 that you approved with the bid, but that's really going to dress it up and make it look more inviting for our new people. Not to mention the reason we wanted 8 offices, the back, that flat area in the back, that's where Ms. Rodman, all of her employees were working in a warehouse at a desk that was pushed up around the walls. And they may bring a lift truck in with pallets of laptops, whatever. So we're going to get them out of their warehouse. They can use a warehouse as they need it, and they'll have nice office space. Buckhorn High School, turf football field. Underground retention, that area was inspected today. They had to shoot all of the inlets and outlets, and I'll show you this, and if I can remember, I'll also give you another point about New Hope when we start talking about this underground retention. 2 weeks, they can be complete with the exception of anything that pressure washing, maybe some extra paving, things like that. Mr. Jones and I talked about earlier. Another really good looking field. If you look on the north end, your right side, all that pipe, that is underground retention. And that is to control the rain and the water that's coming off that football field.
Going back and forth like a septic system or something?
Yes. What it's designed to keep it slow so that when it filters off to the back down by the practice field, that it's not blowing it out there, coming out too fast. That's exactly what it's for. This isn't part of my presentation, but I know you brought it up the other day to me. So I have an engineer team that's working at New Hope to do a stormwater survey of New Hope. We all know what happens there in those big rains. This is the idea that the only way, but it's not been tested, not been proved yet. They're still doing some surveys. They're still doing, making sure of pipe sizes, inlet height, all of that. But this would be the answer. We don't have any other property on New Hope to send it, so we've got to figure out a way to slow it down so it can get off the property in a controlled manner, and it may be underground retention, and of course that might be parking lots or wherever else. But I wanted to bring that up, so if that conversation comes up later and you hear underground retention, that's what we're talking about. If they get like I say, they shot all the grades on that today. If everything passed, they'll start covering that tomorrow. Monrovia Elementary, the HVAC updates. They have all but 5 classrooms up and running. The cafeteria media center by July the 27th. They're starting reinstalling the ceiling tiles starting in section A today, so when the teachers do come back at their date, they're not having to go find another room. All the classes will be ready. There are 5 classrooms that there's been an electrical box. The parts have been delayed. They still think they will have that up and running by August 5th. In any case that they're not going to, they're already prepared to have rental units or anything else they have to have in that to keep those kids and or our students and staff comfortable. So give you a quick update on that. Monrovia Middle baseball and softball lights, currently 85%, be finished by the end of August. All the poles are standing. They've just got to tie in some electrical, do some testing. So on our capital plan, we have that line item for epoxy. The reason I put that up there is to let you know which schools we've gotten. We've already performed all of Owens Crossroads and New Hope. We have them looking at pace now for those restrooms over there for Michelle Ming, and we're updating the bathrooms there. Meridianville Middle School, the cafeteria roof, which is also the band area, it's way beyond repair. You've already approved the bid, and we're just waiting on the contract. Or is it on there tonight? Oh, okay. Maybe you approve that, and then we'll get them out. Pace, we've updated the portable behind the school, and we're doing the student restrooms, and I'd say we're about 60% right now on the restrooms. And then, like I said, we're going to do epoxy. Excel, we're adding 2 new learning cottages down at TRC. Currently, they're on schedule to be delivered right at the end of July. We ordered these in plenty of time. The units they had here did not have the state of Alabama mobile home inspection, so they've had to go through that, and that's delayed it. But they will be there. They're designed. It shouldn't take us long at all to get them set up, get water, sewer, electricity, and fire alarm put in those. Bus shop, we put a new roof membrane over the bus shop this probably just last month. When it rained outside, it was raining inside on our mechanics and our staff, so we've got that taken care of. Tennis courts. Advertised, talked to everybody. A week ago, we had a pre-bid. We had pre-qualification before the pre-bid. We had 5 pre-qualified contractors that were interested in all of our tennis courts. They 3 showed up here in person, 2 online last Wednesday or Thursday. And then we opened bids yesterday, and we could see it falling apart Tuesday, but nobody showed up. We got 0 bids. With 0 bids, now I can go out, get quotes, and negotiate. I can't change the scope because we advertised the scope of what we were going to do and which schools. So we have started that process. Grayson Carter had expressed metrics, but we're going to reach back into each one and see if they will quote or go into negotiations for us. So that's where we are. That happened yesterday afternoon.
Is there a reason why they fell apart?
One said they couldn't. One said they couldn't man it. Didn't have enough people to do all 6, and they didn't want to bid 1 or 2. We had it set up so they could bid each school individually. We tried to make it as easy as possible. Even in the pre-bid, we had a pretty tight timeline because we wanted to beat the winter weather. But even then, we just went ahead and extended it 30 days. They felt comfortable with what we were asking for, but we extended it for 30 days to give them a little more comfort. Not been able to man it. One said they didn't have enough time to put their numbers together. They had as much time as anybody else. Now, one said they didn't get their package till July the 2nd, but they've just decided not to do it. No. That happens. I would rather have 0 than 1 or 2. If I had 2, I'm okay. At least we can tell then, okay, is somebody trying to hit a home run, right? But with this, we have some control. I still feel confident we can get it. I talked to Fight yesterday, and we're talking to some others now. Fight just finished, I don't know, about 30 pickleball courts, and they're on another place now doing some tennis courts. So we're quickly trying to find people that will talk to us, quote us, and negotiate.
Is there a timeline on when you think we might have something?
I would say within 30 days. I might be being hopeful there, but I think within 30 days. Everything is drawn. All the plans are there. All they have to do is, if they want to do it, sit down and go through the scope of it and put numbers together. Someone like Five or even Grayson Carter, they'll be looking out to subcontractors. And we had a list of subcontractors that was wanting to work with a GC. So I don't think it'd be that difficult. I really don't.
What's the
Something I would like to see. I mean, I'd like to see 6 brand new tennis courts at each high school.
What's the timeline that they think it will be?
I think in the very beginning, we were talking about 90 days. We went to 120. My goal would be that they would be finished before Christmas because spring sports start in January.
You're pretty much saying start all of them at once and finish all of them about the same time.
Be great, but if one contractor gets it, I could see demo, and they move to the next one, and this group, and then you start a clockwise, counterclockwise, however you see to do it. But I see that crew going
Boom, boom, boom.
around.
Yeah. Okay. That's okay.
With this, it's not like a concrete where you have to wait on it to cure before you can put a top coat on it. The asphalt, now it will have to cure, but not as long as what the track's having to at Madison County High School with theirs. But we don't see any problem with the timeline. Not right now. It was disappointing when no one showed up, I'll say that. A lot of work goes in it for nobody to show up. But hey, what do you do? Just pack up and get started and find a new way to do it, right? Any questions on anything? I think I've gotten everything pretty well covered. That's just capital plan, the operations team, maintenance team. And I apologize. I thought I had all these on.
After that, they might be able to talk about the tennis.
Well, that is my daughter. She was flying to London, so maybe I should have answered that one. But go ahead.
What we talked about at New Hope, you said there was, is it Croy Engineering that's going out there?
Correct, Croy. Yes, sir.
They're looking at, what are they looking at doing something like that new at Buckhorn, or are they
first, right now, they're trying to evaluate what we do have. They're looking at the entire campus, elementary school, high school, from the main street to Church Street behind us. They are mapping, scoping, shooting grades on every pipe that's in there. And which way does it flow? Do we have a restriction of flow because of pipe size? They're looking for those things first. Is there something that's affordable, easier, quicker that would help us control that water there? But this idea has come up if that's not the issues.
I've gotten with the mayor out there, and he is on board with whatever, because if we put the water off of us, it's got to go somewhere.
Correct.
So he's on board with doing what he needs to do around the property as far as ditches.
Good, good.
I've talked to just the mayor right now, so.
Okay.
He's
Well,
the one that's responsible for
well,
directly around the school.
Matthew Houston is my main contact with Croy, and he was gonna look off-site as well of where it's going. And then make sure we have, you asked for those plans, but I wanna make sure we had an accurate set of plans. So if I give you something that's inaccurate, then everybody starts trying to plan on that. I'm waiting to get that full set back with 100%. This is what's happening.
Do we have a timeline on that so I can know to share that with them, or are they doing it right now, or?
Yes and no. I was supposed to meet with them again next week. I don't think he'll have them ready for me next week.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is there a time that, I don't have to meet with them, is there a time that I could have like maybe the mayors and city workers out there to everybody be on board with what we're doing to get the water off the school?
I think so, but I think first we need to get the survey and the study, and we need to understand what it is and what needs to be done. And at that time, that'd be great. This is what we plan, how does this affect you, and get everybody at that same round table. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Anything else, gentlemen?
Appreciate what
All
you're
right.
doing.
Well, I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much. If you have questions, all of you got my number, just call me. Thank you very much.
Joseph, thank you. As you can see, y'all have done a lot of building recently, and a lot of it is, Hunter's over there shaking his head, he's writing checks. You know, when you look at it, there's a lot in here that is for, you know, a lot of extracurricular as well as a lot of stuff for safety. There's a lot of stuff for growth. There's you know, the board has taken some huge steps in trying to provide for the students in Madison County. And so, Joseph's done a great job with getting that done. Appreciate you, Joseph. All right, sticking with Dr. Minsky's group, let's go ahead and get Director Haynes up here, our new Director of Transportation, and he's got some stuff he wants to talk to you about, some transportation updates.
This is my first time addressing the board. Take it easy on me. All right, so as it stands right now, we have 35 openings still left to hire for bus drivers. We also have 2 mechanics that we have now got to hire. We've had 1 job posting since April, and we have had, I think, 1 applicant. What I've got in front of you right now is a transportation stabilization initiative, trying to recruit from outside, trying to recruit from inside. We would like to target, you know, some teachers inside each one of our schools to possibly get their CDL with the PNS certification, which I'm working on myself. And with that, you know, they've got some out-of-pocket cost where, you know, they have to go and pay the DMV to take their test. They have to get a drug test. They have to do a background test, and some other things. I can get you that other information. It's right there on the left side. But at $350 would fully cover their out-of-pocket expenses. And we would also like to provide them with 5 days of professional leave to get their courses done. There's some that they have to complete through the Alabama Community College system. It's all online. They can do it within 2 to 3 days. They've also got to do some training behind the wheel We've got an awesome trainer, Mr. Randy Whitten. I've been working closely with him, with my training as well. But the incentive amount for teachers, going after them, would be $875 total. That's $105 a day for a sub, for those professional leaves. And we would just ask for a service commitment of up to 1 year. And the part that, Mr. Smith and I have talked about this multiple times about how much teacher drivers, the more teacher drivers we have, the more the district saves. $12,576 is what we would save per teacher coming on contract as a driver as well. And that's just how much we have to contribute to PHIP, or for PHIP costs. I've got that laid out right there on the left-hand side for the teacher driver certification. The new one is the new driver recruitment. We want to offer new bus drivers hired after 6/1. We want to offer them $1,250 in compensation for 2 years of commitment, but they have to get their CDL. They have to commit for that 2 years to drive for us, and it's got milestones built in to where that will pay out. But like I said earlier, we've got 35 openings, and we want to get to, hopefully, by the end of this meeting tonight, we'll be at 29. So we've got quite a few that are still in training, that are still in class, and we want to recruit the best. And House Bill 138 has also helped with us, being able to recruit retirees that are, have just recently retired or have been driving for us under contract, but we're able to hire them on full time. That has helped as well.
For those retirees, would we still pay PIP cost?
No, sir. All we would have to pay is them driving.
So we'll cover the new bus driver's compensation for the days that they're going to get the training. As far as the teachers, by doing their professional leave, that will allow them to get their teacher pay for the day, and they don't have to take leave from their teaching position. Now we just have to cover the cost of the sub. So it was to try and keep everything equitable. So the cost for the licensure, that's the same, and then the rest of it, it's 5 days of pay versus 5 days of, teacher pay, because they're getting professional leave to go. So we just have to cover the sub for that. So.
And pending your,
We
sorry.
looked at this, and Mr. Smith and Dr. Minsky and Mr. Haynes and I, we all talked about it, and we tried to come up with something that would, help with the bus driver shortages.
I plan to recruit heavily at Ignite, or Ignite at the VBC.
We're better together. That sounds better.
Does a new driver recruitment, does that stuff, that goes to retirees coming on board for the first time as well?
The retirees, we did not approach that. I mean, I'm sure we could work on something with that.
And I'm just curious, I didn't know if that was, since they were new coming in.
Well, this is more aimed at people that are going after that certification. As far as I guess that would fall under a bonus if we had somebody with a retiree, they've got their certification coming in. That's something I have not looked at.
The new driver recruit.
You'd have to specify it in your.
Did I see you
initiative too.
did I see you put something on Facebook trying to get creative and?
Oh, yes, sir.
So I appreciate that. That's stepping out there, getting creative on filling some jobs.
I've been posting it everywhere I can, joining all different kinds of groups, trying to post. I've been trying to post anonymously, so I don't get just some, random messages from
I didn't mean to
people,
call you out then.
But I mean, my email
It
address
wasn't
is on
you.
there, so.
It wasn't you.
But I'll tell you this, we've got a great team at Transportation. They've been very welcoming to me. I mean, everybody up here, I feel like I'm bugging them to death by asking so many questions, but they've been very patient with me. I want to do the best job that I can. I want to make this department the best it can be.
Well, I commend you. For years, I have thought that we needed to come up with something to attract bus drivers. I know it puts a little bit more balancing act on the schools for more teachers to become bus drivers, but I see it as a plus for our busing system. We have a certified person sitting in that seat that knows and's been trained to handle kids and
Manage
problems.
classroom.
And you wouldn't want David Vest behind the wheel with problems. So, and I understand that. And I have been trained, but my training.
They're
goes
hauling
out the
our most precious cargo.
They are, and you know, the parents depend on us to get them there from point A to point B safely and back. And, I commend you for this, for coming up with this plan. I think it's something that we need to, really consider. And I'm like Mr. Jones, you know, I think the problem was gonna be with retirees is it's considered full-time. And I think that'll be one of the issues that will come up in this.
We have some retirees that drive now that are capped, so they can go back and be,
If they
Mike-
retired before January 1st, 2026, they can drive 10 of 10. Each day is 2.
Passed a new law.
right, that's,
Pass
right,
them
I'm
on.
saying, I know one personally, so he can get hired full-time, I guess is what it.
Absolutely.
Okay,
If he
Contract full-time.
yeah.
if he retired post New Year's Day 2026,
He's a retired deputy, so I mean, he didn't even work here, he just drives a bus here part-time now because
Oh,
he
yeah.
can't be hired full-time,
Yes, sir.
before the law passed. So,
I misunderstood your question.
no,
I'm
you're
sorry.
good. No, I probably asked it wrong.
One, and I don't expect you to know this, but Dr. Miskey, somebody, the prior year, which was before you, do you know how many vacancies we had and filled?
48. 48.
Like, year to date, a year ago
Oh,
to
a
now?
year ago today, I'm not.
The best we were was about 20 short.
Okay.
So we have a plan in place, so it's not like kids aren't gonna be transported to school.
Sure,
So we
yeah,
have a program called POD for our drivers where they get compensated for picking up
Extra
additional
routes,
routes.
yeah.
So a lot of them are gonna be running double routes. That's great. The negative with it is there are situations where they run an elementary route and they may be a few more minutes getting to the middle school and we're having a whole middle schoolers or high schoolers.
Sure.
But we will make sure that everybody's transported.
All the routes are going to be covered.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Just to add some context on the savings for retired drivers and future drivers on the PHIP, for every 9 that we hire, that's an extra teaching unit that we save.
Oh, I'm
Mr.
for
Rogers and I spoke at lunch today about, recruiting coaches as well. Trying to get them involved in this because that would also help, in the afternoons when we have to find sub-drivers for the PM routes, to take kids or take our athletes to other places, being able to have coaches drive those as well.
It's, I know quite a few people that right there at retirement age did it for it helps with retirement,
That's the big incentive.
yeah. So,
That's good, thank you.
well,
Let's
thank you
not
for,
forget, it helps us a lot too.
yeah,
I mean,
Yes.
I'm saying it helps us, but it helps them too, so.
I see it a bit, I'm not so much looking at the money, although all that's great. I'm looking at the problem-solving skills
Yes.
that's sitting in that seat, and that cuts down on your complaints, and it cuts down on our complaints, and it's just better for the kids. So,
If you have any other questions, I'll be happy to email you. I tried to break this down into one sheet, but I've got further information if you would like it.
thank you.
Did we do good for you on your first time up there, so we didn't get you too bad?
I feel better.
All right, there you go. I appreciate what you're doing, sir.
We didn't say no. I mean, that's a plus, I think. Man.
Mr. Rogers, I hope you're not expecting class breaks.
I'll be all right.
Can you follow that?
Oh, sure, absolutely. So he was my mentor teacher, I will say that. So it makes sense that I'm following him now, okay? But I did make it up here quicker, just a reminder of that. But, all right, so Madison County School System Athletics, I've got a few updates here to discuss, talk about some changes I'd like to see made going into this next school year. I am going to go a little bit out of order of what's on that. On our agenda for tonight. I'm kind of hoping to start with the things that'll have the least amount of conversation and move to the little bit heavier things. All right, first thing is a few changes to our MCSS Athletics Handbook. We approved this last year. I think it went really well. Again, we've got a code of conduct for all of our students. This athletics handbook, it is a place where we can point. And again, it doesn't work separately from our code of conduct, but it works in conjunction with our code of conduct. And it's a place where our coaches, our administrators can be supported in knowing what we expect and that type of thing. So the handbook's gone really well, but there are a few things that need to be changed. I've shared the handbook with y'all with the changes I'd like to see made before the start of the year in yellow. So you can feel free to go and look at those and see where they're at. The first thing that I need to change is there's been some change in verbiage from the HSAA, which I quoted in our handbook. Because the verbiage with the HSA has changed, it also needs to be updated in our handbook. So that should be a pretty easy change. Again, the original verbiage is listed there. That is how it is currently in our handbook. Again, if you go and try to find that in the HSA handbook, it's not there. They've changed that, so we have to update. And that talks about just suspensions and expectations for athletes and the authority of the principal to determine if a student athlete is eligible if they're under suspension, okay? And again, this is something that it works in conjunction with kind of our expectations for all of our students, but holding our athletes to even higher standards, okay? The next thing that's a little bit different, this deals with academic eligibility for our athletes. For as long as I've been associated with athletics, going back to my time at Sparkman, my time at Buckhorn, again, there are academic requirements that athletes have to meet, okay? But where there has been some confusion, as the HSA extends the number of sports that we have, we also have situations where we have a sport that is not sanctioned. Competition cheer being one of the ones that that comes to mind first. Okay, that is not a sanctioned sport. It is a competition sport that is supported by the Alabama High School Athletic Association. They host regional and state events, but it's not a sanctioned sport. Under the HSA bylaws, if you are not a sanctioned sport, so if it is a pilot program like flag football was for several years, like bowling was whenever I first got to Sparkman. If it is a pilot program or a non-sanctioned sport, the HSA says, well, you do not have to meet academic standards. The Madison County school system, I say that you do have to meet those academic standards because, again, it is not fair, it is not equitable for us to say, hey, these athletes have to meet one standard, these other athletes do not. Okay, to me, that just does not match up. Again, once a sport becomes sanctioned, they're going to have to meet those academic requirements anyway. So to me, I want to make sure that it is understood that if you're participating in a competition, HSA-supported sport, that you have to meet the academic standards, okay? Again, at my time at Sparkman, we had several situations, and it was tough with the cheer program there that a student didn't meet academic requirements. Again, under HSA bylaws, they would have been able to participate. We at Sparkman High School did not allow them. We at Madison County School System, since I've been in the position, do not allow them to participate. So again, I would like to add this last sentence, this verbiage into the handbook. The academic requirements established by the HSA and adopted by the Madison County Board of Education shall apply to all athletes who participate in AHSA sanctioned or supported competition athletic programs. Okay, so again, I just want to extend that a little bit. Again, you know, we've got a situation with, under the HSA rules, you could have a football player who didn't make his grades last semester, and he's ineligible to participate, but a cheerleader could be on the sideline cheering for the team and then going to regionals and state competitions with cheer. And again, to me, that just does not go hand in hand. Again, same thing with esports. Whenever it was not sanctioned, a kid who didn't make their grades could participate in esports. Again, under our policies, under our standards, I don't think that that's right. So I'd like to see that change made.
I do have to interject something.
Okay?
My understanding is we have one middle school currently that does not fall into this category. Am I correct?
Nope, if they're a member school, they fall under the exact same expectations as every.
It's not a competition.
You're talking about cheer?
I'm just talking about specific. You're just talking about specifically cheer.
Specific program, we're talking.
No, we've got
Well,
a
I
lot
wanna
of
make sure
schools
it's
that do not
covered in there
feel.
too.
So you're saying that now there's a difference between competition cheer and
We have one
spirit
middle,
cheer?
spirit cheer, we have one, but it still should be the same rules.
I would agree, and I wouldn't mind. I mean, so this is where I start running into some issues. I only oversee athletic programs, okay? We've got clubs, we've got band. How far do we want to extend it? And that would go beyond me, if that makes sense, okay? So I've got competition athletic programs.
I
Dance.
hear you. I hear you.
Spirit, cheer, things like that that are not considered a competition program. Again, band, mountain biking, our bass fishing team, all of those things that fall completely outside of the realm of competition athletics.
I'm just talking about cheering at
I
one
am
school.
more than happy to extend it that far, but again, we got to figure out where the line's going to be. And for me, again, I oversee competition athletics.
And the issue that you got there is that they're extracurricular programs. And so are you gonna have academic requirements for extracurricular programs? Because spirit cheer is it's not an athletic event.
Competition cheer, again, they have regional and state competition that they are going and representing a school with an HSA competition.
Yeah,
Okay?
but it is an athletic event because they're going to our ball games and cheering for our team. I'm just talking about cheerleading in general. We
Okay.
have one middle school.
Same, I would assume you'd want to extend it to dance, you'd want to extend it to basketball cheer, you want to
I
extend
think
it.
I think we need to have a
We
standard,
can,
but I mean, that's
I
just
agree.
me.
And we can change that verbiage. I don't have an issue with it, at all. But like I said, you know, specifically to me, it's hard to round that square if you've got, again,
I don't wanna put
a
fishing in
person
there,
going to, a person going to an HSA competition in Birmingham representing our school didn't make their grades. Like that to me is more of an issue than maybe somebody
is, it
cheering
is.
at basketball games for,
But when that middle school gets to high school, they do fall under those guidelines.
They
Is
would.
all I'm saying.
yes,
You know what, spirit cheer or competition cheer?
competition cheer.
When my middle school gets to the high school, they fall under those guidelines.
They
Right
would.
now, they do not.
So if you're at the high school and you're the,
No, the
Spirit
basketball,
cheer.
yes.
Like basketball cheer, for example.
you're the
Basketball
basketball
cheer, they're non-competition. Literally, they only cheer at basketball events.
so they are not subject to those rules, but,
They would not be a competition program.
okay.
So our
It's
high
only
That's
the
your
ones that
question.
do
High
the
school.
flyers and the
They are
pictures
not
and all that.
participating in any HSAA competition
I thought
events.
most of the time our high school students, if they're cheering for the football and the basketball, they're probably on the competition cheer also.
No, there's
Not
more-
possible.
there's separate
Okay.
squads.
No, they're two
Then I-
separate entities.
Then I digress.
Most time they're completely different programs.
still think
Same,
it should be the
same
rule.
again with dance. Dance is completely unaffiliated with the HSA. Our basketball cheer programs that, again, all they're doing is cheering at basketball games. Again, they are not competing in any kind of HSAA overseen events. And like I said, I'm more than open to discuss it and extending it further. I am, trust me. But again, we've got to decide, I guess, and that's why this discussion's in place. We got to decide where that line's going to be.
The principal can make requirements for any extracurricular activity. So
Correct.
Yeah, and the coach,
Our
the
policy
spirit
and our
cheer coach can say
coaches-
that you're gonna maintain a grade level, you know, he or she could set standards that they have to, in order to participate.
Well, I think
in
they
that
should
club.
have standards.
I
mean,
agree. When
that's
I was
what
at
we're here
Sparkman,
for.
our basketball cheer program that was completely
I
separate,
mean,
they had the same
maybe it
standards
could
as the
be a
competition
uniform
cheer.
standard.
The coach established that.
Okay.
But yeah,
I think we should have the same standard, but how it's handled is, you know,
And like I said,
That's what we call basketball cheer. 'cause
we can discuss it a little bit further and that type of thing and decide if we want to change the verbiage. But again, if we're going to hold, you know, what it really comes down to is they're going to be a general extracurricular standard. Again, bass fishing, mountain biking, et cetera. How far do we extend it? So again, I'd like to see that put in place just to clear the verbiage up. Again, we've been holding that standard in every situation we've run into. But again, I'd like to have the actual verbiage there that we can point back to.
yeah, if we do it from here though, if we do it from this desk, then it has to be done in the schools everywhere. Whereas you might have one school that doesn't completely implement that
Correct.
extracurricular, is all I'm saying.
It gives it the strength in order to enforce it.
Right.
Yeah, that's,
An addition that I'd like to be made, this would go under our homeschool student athlete guidelines, and really, all that this would do, is establish expectations for homeschool athletes, and it would basically back up what we had happening in a lot of situations is a kid would come in to participate in band as a fifth grader, okay? We don't allow band at the middle school and below for homeschool athlete or for homeschool students. Okay, they would want to participate in a non-competition club or sport. Basically, what I'm trying to do is reiterate what is in the academic guide from the instructional department and put it here to where they're not disjointed, to where I don't have to say, okay, hey, go look at the academic guide to understand what we allow in athletics. I would like to put the academic guide's expectations in place so that, again, it's in one place. So this is basically just what's already in our academic guide put into our athletic guide so that people, again, it's not disjointed. I don't have to say, point to the instructional department to say, hey, go talk to them about what is and is not allowed at different levels. So again, homeschool students in grades 7 through 8 may participate in sanctioned support or supported competition athletic programs to include volleyball, football, basketball, baseball, softball, competition, cheer, and dance. All HSA sanctioned sports offered by the athlete's own school at the varsity, junior varsity, and freshman levels. Outside of the things outlined above, homeschool students will not be permitted to participate in other clubs and extracurricular organizations. So again, kind of just reiterating what's already in our academic guide. And then, of course, in grades 9 through 12, we allow participation in JROTC, band, and HSA sanctioned or supported athletics. So again, just reiterating what's in our academic guide so that we don't have to go back and forth. Now getting to contracts, okay? This is something that's come up a lot. We allow for out-of-season contracts for our head and assistant coaches, all right? To this point, we've allowed head coaches to receive up to 100% of their board supplement in out-of-season contracts, okay? And most of our head coaches in major sports, their booster clubs matching their supplement, okay? Head football coaches start at $10,000. That board, their booster board has the ability to step in and give them another $10,000. The highest step for football coaches is $15,000. We've got coaches that right now are having their supplement matched by the boosters at $15,000. Okay, we've got basketball coaches. You know, they max out at $9,000. That's step 2 on the salary schedule is $9,000, and they're being matched. They're getting $9,000. I'd like to see an increase in what we allow for head coaches as well as our assistant coaches. Again, head coaches, I'd like to see an increase from 100% to 200%. Now, again, this is all at the decision has to be made by the board. Okay, this is optional for our board or for our booster boards. Okay, they can vote to allow for this increase or to allow to pay this additional out-of-season contract. Okay. It is fully optional, all right? So coaches.
The booster board versus the board of education.
Correct. So the booster, and I won't even say, let's not even say booster board anymore, okay? Let's just say boosters, okay? So booster clubs, they can elect to match supplements at this point for head coaches. I'd like to see an increase. For assistant coaches, currently they can have up to $2,500, which in some cases that's good. If I'm a tennis coach as an assistant, my coaching supplement's $750, which barely covers the gas to get from place to place. Getting an additional $2,500 from the boosters is an outstanding incentive to coach tennis, okay? But for a defensive coordinator whose supplement is $4,500, $2,500 is not all that much in the grand scheme of things. So again, I would like to change the verbiage in that contract to, instead of it just being $2,500, allowable up to 100% of the MCSS salary schedule supplement or $2,500. So again, we'd keep the $2,500 in there for those lower supplemented sports where we could give them up to that $2,500, which some of them are getting. But it would also allow for like our assistant football coaches, our assistant basketball coaches that are at $3,200, coordinators that are at $4,500 to receive up to a match from the boosters for their supplement. And again, this would be completely optional by the booster clubs. Okay, this is not guaranteed in any way. This is kind of a Band-Aid, if I'm being 100% honest. Our salary schedule and our coaching supplements, okay, compared to our surrounding districts are fairly low, okay? And in order to kind of combat losing coaches, I would like to see our boosters having the option to, if they want to keep someone, having that ability to do it. We've lost some coaches, and our boosters have said, hey, could we give them more? Could we have given them more? And currently the answer is no. And I would like to see this change just so that if a booster club would like to extend that additional pay, that they'd be able to, and hopefully reward some of these coaches and keep them in our district. Go ahead, Ms. Thompson.
In that section, for clarification purposes, I would suggest after where it says per sport for which they are contracted, you add whichever amount is higher, just to clarify that it can be the 4,500 in your example.
Okay.
So I would just say whichever amount's high.
Does
that make sense?
I would clean it up and do 200% on the head and I would clean it up. That way,
That's
there's no question, well, assistant coach is 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're still a board employee, and the booster club, once they commit to that, that's a year commitment.
Once they've got that contract.
Mm-hmm.
But I will,
Because I think that one is a little confusing.
Yeah.
So,
We need to put in there somewhere that this is booster paid and that.
it is on the actual contract. This is literally just the top section of that contract. The only
Where it says
option for
local
this is
school
paid by
paid.
the local school.
Yeah,
So
that's the part that throws me off, because we don't want the school to say, hey, look, we can go ahead and give
Here's the whole
200%.
contract.
that's the full, yeah. So the full contract is there, but again, this is just the excerpt from the top. That's the verbiage that shows what we're able to do now versus the highlighted section, which is what I'd like to see added. It falls outside of my purview. This goes under instruction as well, but I also made changes to band to reflect that they're there. So I'm looking after our band folks as well.
It
I agree,
probably
we need
will,
to
but-
retain good coaches, and this is a step in the right
Right.
direction, but what is this gonna do to player fees? Is it going to, cause I mean, you can essentially be giving a football coach $30,000 out of the booster, plus their summer workout could get up to what, $7,000 or $8,000, I mean.
Nope, this is, summer workouts would be included in out of season contract. Now, we pay a $37.50 supplement.
Match their out-of-season contract,
No, they can only match their salary scheduled regular supplement.
so, but you could essentially go from 15,000 to,
You could double what they're getting, yeah.
or we have.
You could go to 15 to 45.
Right, well, yeah, but I'm saying, is that going, do we anticipate this going back to the parents?
Parents are gonna have to be the ones voting on it,
Right,
so, I know you're talking
well,
about.
if you get three people on I know we're not saying board, but on a booster club that say yes.
Booster officers.
Parents that don't want it. I'm for that.
I agree.
I'm
I-
saying if we thought of that side too.
I agree. I mean, really and truly, there's nothing really pretty about it, if I'm being 100% honest with you. Like, again, what I would eventually like to see is our supplements improve because we are so far behind other systems. But right now, I feel like without it coming from our board, the Madison County Board of Education, this is the only way that I see.
That's why you said it's kind of a Band-Aid, so.
It is a Band-Aid, I would say.
And I share your concern, because that's the thing I didn't want, is I don't want anything being,
We're
they already pay a
fundraising-
lot as it
we're
is.
fundraising out. I mean,
Correct.
You can only sell so many bottles much, you can only do so many car washes.
Yep.
It's gonna fall on the back of the parents. What costs $1,400 now, you wanna pay somebody 45,000, I'm saying 30, I wanna go back to 30. So if you wanna pay somebody 30,000, you are gonna have to raise those
And
fees to 2,000.
And I'll be 100% honest with you. I don't think that we're going to have a single football coach in our district making $30,000 from a booster club. Like, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that. I could definitely see some of our basketball coaches saying, "Hey, you've been getting $9,000 for 5 years. You've done an outstanding job. We'd like to give you $12,000," and this would allow them to do it. Now, again, I don't see. Unfortunately, all of North Alabama is fairly far behind in football. I do not see many of our coaches getting a 200% max and making $30,000 from the booster club to coach football. I don't see that happening, but I see it in some of our I don't even want to call them secondary sports. Some of our other sports, some of our smaller sports, I do see booster clubs being willing to take advantage of this.
I think
do
that's a
see that.
concern, is because you know, if you're talking about 80 to 100 guys on a football team.
It's a little bit
it's
easier to raise.
disperse that fund.
Now, I would also-
20 on the basketball
I
team.
would say, because our assistant coaches is where we struggle the most, as far as supplements, that type of thing goes. I could see a lot of 100% coming for coordinators, football assistants, baseball, basketball
That's where I
assistants.
see the
That's
help.
where I see the biggest changes coming is, hey, we're gonna pay our assistants more. I see that more, because, I mean, I talk to a lot of head coaches, and head coaches say, I'm not really worried about me, I wanna keep this guy that helps me out.
Oh, no,
Like, that's where
the right direction.
that's where I see it happening more.
Get out of control.
Yeah, I understand, you know, but athletics has a tendency of doing that.
Well, I did look into this earlier today, actually. This should not impact fees at all. Fees that players pay are considered public funds. Booster clubs cannot dictate how public funds are spent. So funds that they would be using to match this have to come from non-public sources, which are raised by booster club fundraisers.
So this could not actually affect. I'm good with that.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's the whole. You just jumped in sooner.
Now again, I will say this, they said booster raised funds. A lot of times that involves a fundraiser set up by the boosters to benefit the booster club.
Public and non-public money are, right?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. But again, that could look like additional fundraisers that the parents and the players would be participating in for the booster club to eventually pay this. I mean, so it gets really,
Well, I don't have a problem if a parent says, you know what, you know, you have to do these additional fundraisers, or you can cut us a check for $100 for the extra fundraisers. That's different than saying that the fee for playing, you know, that the school is charging.
Well, that
because-
made me feel a whole lot better. I appreciate that information. I was just trying to look out for the parents
yeah.
that are struggling to pay $1,000 for a kid's play right now. Because I'm one of them parents.
Yep, and I mean, you know, as we get more and more people moving in, a lot of states fund athletics, Alabama does not. A lot of systems around the country, so we get somebody coming from Texas where the state kicks in money for athletics, or Florida where the state kicks in money for athletics, and then also systems, you know, that are funded differently than we are. So they're already blown away that they're having to pay a fee to participate in a sport. But in our situation, it's the reality of it.
Now,
So,
Go ahead.
Mr. Burke.
I want to make sure I get this right. A booster club, according to our way we have this organized now, a booster club cannot go and tell a head coach, we're going to do it. It has to go through the principal. The principal or the athletic director is the one who's have to initiate the contracts. Does the board approve those contracts at the local
they
level?
do. They do. The board approves all contracts. All out-of-season contracts are approved by the Board of Education.
Okay.
They're on there every single, you probably got some on there tonight.
They're on there.
I know they're
That's
on
fine.
there.
I just want to make sure that we haven't changed that oversight.
Yep, so basically the booster club can suggest money be spent, the principal has to approve it, then it comes to us where it's approved. I sign off on it, then y'all approve it. So there's several levels of oversight.
Well, I was just gonna say, Hunter, I think now puts on there if it's coming from the local school or us, right?
That's on that report.
Yes.
Well, it did, yes, on that.
The contract it's very clearly stated it's booster paid.
Is there a downside if, like Mr. Bass recommended, changing the assistant coaches to 200% where it's all the same from your standpoint?
I think it still has to say 200% or 2,500. It still would have to say that because,
Taking the 100, keeping the or language in there for those other sports like you talked about.
Which is ever greater.
again, like, for example, tennis is $750 for an assistant coach. If we went 200%, they would still only make, they'd make less than $2,500.
I'm just saying, keeping the or 2,500, but doing 200 across the board where.
Yeah, I don't see there being any issues. Now you start getting into coordinators making $13,500 and a head coach only making $15,000. You get into that maybe, but
We're kind of giving some autonomy to the programs
You
there,
are.
whereas if it's two different programs, two different sizes, they may be fine, you know.
Do we
And
wanna
it
leave
says up
here
to.
for right now
And it's
just
up,
see
it's
how
fully
it
up to the
goes?
boosters. That's the other thing that's,
Increase it.
I think if we do it now, because it's not, we're not forcing them to them, but we're at least giving them those options where some of them, maybe your bigger program.
and me and Mr. Smith kind of talked about this earlier. You put 1,000% on there. You know, that doesn't really change anything. Like, you know, like I
wouldn't
said
do that,
earlier,
but-
like, I mean, but we're just talking about, it is fully at the discretion of the booster club. So like, again, we could put whatever number we wanted up there and it could mean absolutely nothing.
Well, to me, 200% for coaches or $2,500 on the
Whichever's greater.
whichever's greater. It's easier for me to remember that. And then
Then you're consistent.
you're
not
consistent
200.
about we're not saying that the assistant coach is not less important than the head coach.
I agree.
I mean, we are money-wise. I mean, I know we do say that, but at least we're putting the same, it just, to me, it just cleans it up.
I agree with you, Mr. Vest, and I think the nice thing about this is everybody needs to understand, as Mr. Rogers said, very few people are gonna get the 200%, but it's nice to be consistent throughout the policy.
And we can
All the
be
way
that
to
way,
the
but we weren't consistent up to this point, and unfortunately, that was left up to me to make sure that we were consistent. You know what I mean? We were at 100% and $2,500.
Yeah.
So again, like, we haven't really been consistent.
I say
Up to
clean it
this
up all the way down through the band and let's,
Now, y'all do understand that if we do 200%, every time I get a contract, I'm gonna have to figure that out.
well,
You need help in math?
we'll get you a calculator.
I'll get with the instruction department.
You can start.
Take it out of your budget.
Rogers.
I have to help Mr. Rogers out in math again.
Jessica's across the hall from you.
There you go. Yeah.
So we're gonna say 200 across the board, top to bottom.
We can do that. And I'll send y'all, what I'll do is I've got I'll send y'all the full contract so you can see it. Again, that's just the verbiage across the top, so that you can see that. And if y'all want to make it consistent at 200% on both, no problem. We would also need to do that for assistant band directors as
That's what I
well.
said, all the way down.
Yep, so 200% all the way down. Any other discussion on that? I haven't even got to the topic that I thought was gonna be the most, discussion yet.
Oh, I've been
So-
looking at them. You ain't
so
went
here
in
we
order.
are.
I could
No, I
could
didn't.
tell.
All right, so last thing I want to talk about tonight is annual passes for athletics. This is something we've talked about a lot. I've had a lot of interest from parents, community members, that type of thing, that have asked, hey, is there a way that we could do a season pass or a discounted rate if we bought tickets up front, things like that. And so this is something I want to discuss, go through, maybe give you my suggestions for it. The goals are all for discounted pre-sale season passes to reward our fans, increase attendance, and create community around our athletic programs. Again, in my opinion, I feel like a lot of times if that option's there, somebody buys a pass and maybe they go to some games that they wouldn't normally go to, we get more people in the stands, that type of thing. And a lot of our coaches have straight up said, I would rather just have bodies in the gym, in the stands, rather than sell a ton of tickets. I want big crowds. So that's kind of what I'd like to do there. Also, I'd like to provide athletic programs with predictable upfront revenue. So I want this to be able to benefit our programs and to benefit community members and fans, okay? Again, you get upfront revenue. Instead of getting $10 a week if I'm a football coach from somebody, I'm getting $40 up front, and that revenue's there no matter what the weather does, no matter how the season pans out, when maybe attendance drops whenever we don't do so well, and that type of thing. Again, it gives that predictable upfront revenue for our programs. I've got a link there, and y'all all have access to it. I sent it to you earlier this week for kind of some of the proposals and my thought process going through it. Just some of the benefits to fans. Again, cost savings, convenience, and streamlined entry. This is all going to be digital. So we would sell there is no cash season ticket. It would be bought an S2 Pass, which is our digital ticketing system. They purchase it every week. They would have for every event, they'd have a generated QR code. They just walk in, scan their code, and they're in the game, okay? So again, streamlined entry. I did this when I was at Sparkman. We had an all-season pass for adults and for students. I got my hand slapped for that because we weren't supposed to be doing that. But we did that, and a lot of people just wanted the ticket, the all-season pass, just so that whenever they showed up, they just showed their ticket and they were in the game. So just convenience for our fans. Again, cost savings. My goal on this was to try to save somebody at least one event if they were to buy the season pass, okay?
Matt, didn't they pass a law that for athletics you have to?
We would still offer a cash, it is a law, Mr. Byrd, but we would still be in compliance because we would still offer a cash option at the gate. They would still have the option to buy a cash ticket if they chose not to buy a season pass.
Yeah.
How much will the season pass save?
We're gonna get to all that in a second for my stuff. Benefits to programs, again, upfront revenue, boosted attendance and community support. Hopefully we get more people in the stands, for events, okay? Just some of the major points for all of these, it's gonna be school specific. So you're not buying a football pass and I can go to New Hope, Buckhorn, Hazel Green and get into all of them. It is school specific, all right? Same thing for middle versus high school. If I buy one at Buckhorn Middle, that does not get me into the Buckhorn High School games, okay? So they're gonna be school specific. All passes are for home, regular season events only. We do not control postseason events. The HSA controls postseason events. So postseason events are off the table for that. That all goes, that money, those funds all go to the HSA before they split it up and send it back to us. So again, only for regular season. Certain tournaments and showcases are not included. We've got some situations where we've got national tournaments and things like that, that charge more. Again, maybe it's an outside organization running it. Those types of events would not be included in an all sports pass.
How difficult would it be, how difficult would it be for you to say when Buckhorn plays Hazel Green, and this year it's at Buckhorn, that if I'm supporting Hazel Green?
It'd be incredibly difficult.
I knew you was gonna say that.
It would be very difficult to differentiate, and it would muddy the waters incredibly. And again, the more I looked into this, the more I did it. We'd be the only district around here doing something like this. Huntsville City doesn't do it. They allow individual schools and programs to do it. Madison City doesn't do it. Decatur City doesn't do it. Jackson County doesn't do it. We'd be the only system doing this. And the more I looked into it, the muddier it kind of got.
Yeah.
And doing something like that would be an absolute nightmare because that's already going to be one of your biggest crowds of the year. And now you're also throwing in, hey, we've got to reward or we've got to recognize season passes from two different schools. So yeah, that'd be pretty difficult to do.
Matt, wouldn't it be all tournaments and showcases are not included, not
Yeah,
certain
all
ones?
of them.
I've
What
talked.
would you include?
I've talked to some like wrestling coaches where they say, hey, we're only got 4 home events for the whole season. If we sold a pass for $40, I would absolutely include I've got one big tournament and then like 3 regular season matches. I would absolutely include that tournament in that $40.
We say tournaments and showcases are not included unless specified or something like that. The only reason is because the majority of the tournaments and showcases are gonna be no's.
Correct.
So-
And like, again, with that verbiage, like I'm perfectly fine with saying all tournaments. But again, like I
then
said,
the
I've
wrestling
had
coach
some
could
coaches
say-
that have said, no, by all means, that's my big event. But if somebody buys a season pass, they'd be more than like, I'd like them to use that.
The
So.
coach could have the authority
And again,
to go ahead and
this
say
is
that
why it gets so muddy is because we've got, like, sports differ so much from, like, everything differs so much from sport to sport. And attendance differs so much from sport to sport, and how they organize events differ so much from sport to sport. So again, makes it really difficult to just do a blanket statement a lot of times. We'd also make it to where there's no refunds. Once they buy the season pass, they're in it. And then we'd keep standard athletic procedures for Madison County school systems in effect.
Used to.
Do y'all
I'm
have a
just trying to
question?
get the mud out of the water. I'm sorry.
There's a
Go ahead.
lot of it. So feedback, talk to coaches, administrators. They're very supportive of the idea of offering season passes to our fans. Most believe sports-specific passes were the most effective way for parents and adults. And I agree, about the only way that you could do it for adults, and that's community members, parents, et cetera, would be for sports-specific passes. And so, again, I looked at the average number of home events for our varsity athletics last year, the cost at full price, and then what we would charge for a pass. And then I've got an average savings over there. For example, football, you've got 5 games at $10 a game. We sell a pass for $40. You save $10. That would also get you into your JV and freshman on Monday nights, okay? So again, saves them about $10 plus a game or 2 here and there for JV freshmen, which again are generally lightly attended. Flag football, on average, we had 5 at $8 a piece would be $40. We sell one for $30, save them $10, okay? So they're getting about a free one there. All right, basketball, them and baseball have the most number of events on average. Again, we offer basketball and baseball, 12 events on average at $96 for an adult to attend all 12 events. At $85, that'd save a parent $11 over the entire season. And again, you can see the other sports there. Again, that's the cleanest way to do it for adults without programs losing out substantially on revenue. And another thing that we thought about and talked a lot about, we just recently upped our ticket prices. And we upped our ticket prices because the cost of putting on a game continues to rise. So it was really important to coaches, to administrators that, hey, and important to me as well, because again, if we're going to raise ticket prices, that's saying that revenue is needed. It was really important to me to make sure that programs weren't going to lose out substantially by offering something like this. So again, this would be for adults. That's at the high school varsity level. Did you have a question before we go on to?
No, I think I think this will actually increase our funds.
I think so too.
Because there'll be a lot of people that'll buy that ticket and hadn't been coming to every game anyway. And we're not gonna really miss the money that they were giving the discount to.
Right. You get
When
some
I-
bad
shouldn't
weather
say.
in October, November.
And we saw that.
They're not
We saw that when I was at Sparkman. We saw that we sold a all sports pass for parents. It was $150, and I would literally have parents that bought it just for the convenience, and they didn't go to another event other than football. So they could have spent $50. We got $150 out of them.
Right.
And again, like
This will be sent to your phone, or will it be
correct,
Email.
every week, or,
they would generate a new QR code for every event,
and somebody's gonna scan that?
just like they would if they bought an S2 pass ticket generally. So it'd be the exact same.
If anybody scan again?
Correct. That QR code's good one time, so I can't, scan my QR code, hand my phone off, scan it for the next person. That QR code's good one time. So really, you could even use it, and I asked about this, maybe I shouldn't say it on air, but like a mom and a dad, if I bought one as a dad and I couldn't make a game, that QR code could be used by my wife for the game that I wasn't going to. So again, like that QR code's good once though, and that's it. So once it's scanned, it's no good. But again, if I don't attend a game, I could send that QR code to somebody else who could then use it.
Well, if I bought one for my wife and for myself and I couldn't go, I sent my mother instead. It didn't matter. I mean,
You're still
same
one for
concept.
one.
Yeah, right.
You're still one for one. For middle school, it's a little bit easier. It's cleaner. They've got fewer sports that they offer. Football, they've got on average 4 events, $8 a piece, $32. So a season pass for $25, they save $7. And again, we've got that all the way down.
We used to buy the chairs.
Now again, for this, and we talked about that for like assigned seatings, we've got some schools that offer like chair back seats or something like that. I would say that they could offer this, because again, whatever we do, I feel like this has to come from the district and it's going to be set and it's going to be standard across the board. For like chair backs and stuff like that, if there's assigned seating at a game, like I think New Hope has some chair backs at the 50-yard line around there below their press box. You could sell them in conjunction. So they buy a season pass, and then for an additional $50, they get a chairback seat, something like that. So it's an add-on to what the district's already offering.
Sparkman did a basketball, because I used to buy the chair on the court. They used to do that, and it came with tickets. And of course, I think that was when it was not supposed to be done, but it came with season pass for the basketball.
Yep. And so again, like I said, I feel like in that case, that would be an add-on to what we're doing. So it'd be an additional fundraising thing. Like, hey, you buy a season pass at $40. For an additional $50, you get a chairback seat, assigned seat. Again, I think Hazel Green Baseball has some chairbacks and things like that. Again, you buy a season pass for $85. For an additional $40, you also get a chairback seat. Like again, it would just be an add-on to what's already being offered there. So again, middle school a little bit cleaner, fewer sports and that type of thing. Also, prices adjusted for the cost there. Now, again, where it got the muddiest was for students. We talked about 3 different ways to do this. We looked at all sports passes. That would be you buy 1 ticket, and that 1 ticket gets you in every event for the entire school year. Again, the way we looked at it, that would cut the cost of attending all those games in about half, for students. Again, it gets more bodies in the seat. The problem with that is how you divide the money out becomes a lot more difficult because, again, these programs, they still have travel fees that they have to pay, travel costs that they have to pay. They have officials that they have to cover. They're losing out on quite a bit of revenue. It's difficult to divide it out. Again, I ask you to go look at that, the proposals that I put out and all of everything that I proposed and that I looked at. Again, all sports pass sounds like a good deal on paper, but we were concerned about loss of revenue. We're also concerned about the cost up front. For a high school kid, it'd be $150. A lot of people said, well, you know, $150 just out of pocket at the very beginning. A lot of kids aren't going to be able to do that. So there's some concerns there. So again, there's a lot of concerns with all sports passes. It sounded like a good idea on paper, but between like the loss of revenue, that type of thing, it became a little bit more difficult. Also the upfront cost. Season passes, we looked at offering like a fall, a winter, and a spring, to where a kid could buy. And again, it'd be at a lower rate, you know, $50 in the fall, $50 in the winter, $50 in the spring. Again, you get into, on the finance side, asking bookkeepers to, okay, $50 just came in. This goes here, this goes here, this goes here, and dividing it 7 different ways every time that that money comes in. It puts a little bit more strain on our finance folks. So we looked at season passes, like sport or season specific passes, fall, winter, spring. And then we looked at sport specific passes like what we did for parents, okay? Ultimately, I'd like to propose, again, this is from getting feedback from our athletic directors, from our principals, from our coaches. I'd like to propose sports-specific passes for our students as well, okay? And so, again, it's going to look a lot like what it looked like for our parents, okay? You got 5 home football games. It's a $5 pre-sale ticket for a student. For all 5 football games, it costs $25. They'd get a season pass for $20. Basketball, again, just like in all sports, you go look at the University of Alabama, anywhere, your money generators are football and basketball, okay? I think if you go look at most college athletic programs, football makes money, basketball makes money, everybody else goes in the hole. Football and basketball are your big money generators, so I'll look kind of at those two for now. Football, you got 5 games, $25 full price, get it for $20, save $5. Basketball, it costs $60. They basically get 2 games for free for a $50 season pass, okay? So again, kind of similar breakdown there. Saving about 1 to 2 events per sport. Soccer also plays a lot more games than most of the other sports, so theirs would be a little bit more expensive, but again, they'd save a little bit of money there. And then for middle school, similar. And I'll go ahead and tell you right now, middle schools are going to sell the heck out of that football season pass and probably the basketball season pass as well, okay? $12 to get you in all 4 home football games. They're going to sell a lot of those, okay? So again, looking at season passes, sports specific. What are you going to say, Mr. Vest?
Well, you know, this sounds bad, but if my students of our school system is going to support our athletics, I don't know that there'll be lost revenue as much as we think. I do agree that the 150.
Well, so the way that you looked at it, because again, I'd encourage you to go look at all my breakdowns of the numbers and everything. Basketball would stand to lose up to $20 per kid that did an all sports pass, for example. $20 per kid, that's four games that they lose out on the ticket prices. And again, officials keep getting more expensive. Travel costs keeps getting more expensive. Like everything continues to increase in price, and to lose, I mean, if you sold, 100 of them, you're losing $2,000 from the basketball accounts. That's pretty substantial. Then they go to concessions, and you can look at those types of things. That's true.
If they're not there, they can't spend any money on concession.
That's
I
true.
like the all-season pass, I really do, for the kids, but like Matt and I talked about, that 150 hit at the beginning of the school year is a lot when you got clothes, you got, your
And
clothes,
again,
you got all the supplies, you got all those things that are coming in. It's
At
just
$150, that would also be about a 50% discount. Again, go look at all the numbers that I broke down there. To go to every home event on average on a campus would be about $304 for a student. $305, I'm sorry, for a student. You'd sell it at $150. I mean, that's a 50% discount.
Yeah, but I think you're gonna
And
pull-
again, it would very much so benefit some of our lower revenue sports, okay? It'd probably benefit soccer substantially, wrestling substantially, volleyball substantially, where you're not getting big student crowds. It would benefit them a lot, but programs like basketball especially would lose out.
I don't know that
a
it's
lot
going
on
to change
that.
the crowd.
it wouldn't change the crowd, but it would change the revenue that was brought in by that program.
Did you say it would be over
I think you're
300?
gonna get some money that you would.
About $305.
Or if you went to $200 on the ticket?
I think we sell even fewer of the all sports passes.
Money in an account.
$200 again, that's pretty steep. Even at $150, I felt like that was high. I'd love to be able to offer one at $100.
I think the $20 question is how you divide this.
Oh, yeah.
And here's the other thing. I don't know how many we would sell because, again, most kids would look at that and say, well, I don't generally go to wrestling. I don't go to soccer. I don't go to baseball. That doesn't have the value of $200 to me. So, again, I don't know that we'd sell very many of them.
Well, if you, he was talking about like doing it by sports for students, that would be, which would eliminate that problem, because then you'd have just a football season pass. or you have-
Well, that's true. Then it goes to
The thing is like, if you got a family of four and one of your children's an athlete, you know, if you're talking about a football player, you're talking about the family saving $25 for them to go to the football games, and they get all the games. And so, you know, I mean, it doesn't seem like a big number, but it is a significant number when you figure, you know, that's $25 that they're probably gonna invest in the concession stand and somewhere
Oh,
else.
they're
there,
gonna
you know.
invest in the concession stand. It'll be spent at the concession.
And that's the
It
thing.
gives them
They're going to
something.
be there. They're going to be there regardless. We're offering it at a discounted rate, right? So again, I feel like the fan still comes out ahead. The ones that are going to be there anyways, they're going to be there and they're going to have their season pass if they choose, and like they'll still come out ahead, and then we come out ahead as well. I feel like it's the best way to benefit both parties.
I think you
at
get
this
some people
time.
that buys the pass that wouldn't come anyway. That's what I think's gonna happen. Cause it's a discount and they're gonna go to one or two games, but you're still gonna get the benefit. And they really didn't save anything, but they feel like they did.
But I feel like they might
mean-
do the same thing with these as well, where they buy a pass at, student buy a pass at $50 for baseball and they come to 4 games, So I feel like you might get some of the same even at that option. And like I said, I talked to coaches, got their concerns. I'd encourage y'all to go talk to your basketball coaches.
they'll call us.
I mean, that was one of the main concerns, because when you really look at it and you start breaking out the numbers, they're really the ones that would be hammered the most on just loss of funds. Like I said, sell 100 of them. The way that we'd break it out, the only way that you could fairly break it out, you're talking about a $2,000 hit to the program, which again, that's a trip somewhere. That's a couple bus trips somewhere, like that type of thing. So again, it's pretty substantial to them. And while I could say, hey, yeah, that'd be great for kids, let's do that for our fans. Again, I've also got to kind of look out for the best interest of a program. And again, for them to lose that funding, again, whenever they're not getting state funds, when they're not getting district funds, like it's up to them to raise those funds and make sure that it's there so that they can afford to run their program. So,
I mean, I know they'll make the money on me because I don't get to go to every game and I'll buy a ticket, So,
Also minimize cash at the gate, which
correct.
that's correct.
And again, we would still offer a cash ticket at the gate, so we would be in compliance with the HSA, or not with the HSA, with the state government. We'd be in compliance, so we'd be okay. But again, I wanted y'all to look at that. Go and look at all of my, I feel like for parents, really that's the only way to do it, is to do a sports-specific pass for parents. I think that's about as well as you can do with them. For students, like I said, we really mulled it over. I talked to tons of coaches, tons of athletic directors. When I proposed an all-sports pass in my athletic directors meeting yesterday, you would have thought that I slapped all of them in the face. They were very against it. And again, it was that, hey, how are we going to explain to a coach that this person's getting this percentage of the revenue when nobody goes to their games, right? They were just kind of thinking to the actual conversations they were going to have in their buildings to explain it to their coaches. So like I said, again, something I'd love to offer. I just saw where Guntersville City, me and Mr. Cubic talked about this the other day, somebody cut a check in Guntersville City, and if you're a K through 12 student in Guntersville City, you don't have to pay admission to any of their home games.
There's a lot of schools
I'd
like
love to
that.
be able to do that. But if it took $50,000 in Gunnersville City, I think it'd take 250,000 plus for us. So, and I don't know if I can come up with that
Now,
between
Matt,
now and August
we still
21st.
have some decisions to make on the student annual pass. Are we good to go as far as the adults?
I feel very comfortable with the adult passes. And again, we're doing this from the district level, and it's tough because I'm dealing with averages. Again, I might have some wrestling coaches that only have 5 events, okay? And we would be putting out, hey, we're gonna offer a sports pass for wrestling at $45. It'd be up to the parents to determine, hey, do I wanna buy a $45 pass, or do I just wanna pay $8 at every event? Like, so again, but I feel very comfortable with those numbers. Again, it's tough to look at it from this position and the number of games people have. It's going to differ from school to school, but I feel pretty comfortable on this. Most of my coaches felt comfortable on it. My administrators felt comfortable on it for parents. So
I don't have a problem doing the adults this year and doing the students next year, after we figure out, we flesh this out a little bit more.
I say, I mean, if nothing else, they'd get an adult pass.
That's right.
well, they'd lose on that because our tickets are so, our student tickets are so substantially less than the
How much are the student tickets?
$5.
Well, they should be.
Students are adults are 8 for all sports except for varsity football is 10. So to me, doing some this year and some next year, I don't really like that idea. I'd rather save my kids some money this year, And if we say, hey, this didn't go well, again, we can change and.
But if we're gonna do the students this year, how are we gonna do the passes? We're gonna do it by sports, we're gonna do it by
Sport-specific passes.
sport specific is what you're recommending? Okay.
And the thing is,
I can do
if you're gonna have the parents and they're gonna have their S2 pass and they're gonna have it on code, then they don't have to worry about having the kid go either the pregame sale or have to
Correct.
get in line
And that's
then
something that we've
buy a
been doing,
ticket,
like-
And then
Yeah.
they could already be in, but now they gotta wait with the child to get a pass, so. But if we keep it all one way, if we do like sports specific right now, and then we can always revisit it, a different approach,
This is reasonable.
I ain't gonna say what I was thinking.
But it saves parents money, and it provides an opportunity for the bad weather games that they're not gonna be at. And you know how baseball and softball are at the beginning of the year, it's pretty chilly out there.
Lots of cancellations and changes, and I talked to S2 Pass this morning. I was on the phone with them. As we make changes in S2 Pass, the passes update. So if I cancel a game on a Tuesday night because it's snowing and we reschedule for the following Monday, they still have access to that ticket. And that's what's great about doing it digital. So, but again, just thoughts on that. Again, I encourage you, go look at that document that I included, that I shared with y'all earlier this week. It might look like the muses of a madman, but go look at it and you can see all the
Who's
different.
the extra work gonna hit?
With this, nobody. With what I'm proposing, which is sport specific passes, nobody. If we went sport, with the students, if we decided to do the all sport pass, my bookkeepers would probably, maybe they'd come after Hunter, hopefully. They would come up here because again, if you go look at it, we would have to divide, for that,
I'm all for it.
basically we would have to divide out, if $150 came in for a high school all sport pass, we'd have to divide out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ways. And it would be percentages. And so that bookkeeper would have to look at it and say, okay, football gets 15%, basketball gets 30%, and they would have to break it out, 8 different ways. So that all sports pass would fall on our bookkeepers to do that.
Sport specific makes more sense.
Now,
Yeah, sports specific is what we're looking at.
It's the better way to go. I think our students are, they're our biggest asset, and I just want to give more to them, because there is schools that do it for free. If you're a student there, you go for free, and I know that. So, I wish we could get there, because that's support for our school.
Yep. Like I said, I think this offers the best of both worlds. It keeps our revenues for our sports at a level that they need it to be to continue operating, but also offers a discount for our kids and for our parents. So,
We'll just review that, and we'll revisit it, at the end of the month,
Sounds good.
okay?
all right,
Matt,
that's all
thank
I've
you.
got. Just the normal short athletic update, so.
Yeah. We started something new.
All right. Ms. Bass, the academic guide amendment for the new CTE program.
This is actually really short.
Yeah, right.
During staffing last year, Mr. Cubic approved for us to add a unit to the Career Tech Center. Our goal is to, Jess, are you pulling that up? Sorry. Our goal is to grow our own teachers. And so, we applied for, the opportunity to provide an educators in training pathway through CTE. And we've hired a teacher for the position, and it just wasn't in the academic guide because it had not been approved by staffing, and the state has to go through an approval process as well. So we would just like to add this section to the academic guide. Our goal is to get students who are interested in becoming teachers into this program and run them through. We will have the opportunity for those students to hopefully be hired as instructional aides when they graduate from high school and finish this program. And we have Reach University partnership that allows students to work full-time as instructional aides, complete their coursework, and count that working time towards their student teaching, practicum, and all of that. And it's highly discounted opportunity for them. They earn a bachelor's degree in elementary education through that program, but then they can take praxis exams to get their certification. And also, you know, these kids could also graduate from us and go and full-time enroll in a four-year university to become a teacher. But our goal is to identify those kids who have that interest and grow our own. Because this is something that we are seeing this year as we're hiring, that there's just not as many new teachers in the pipelines as there used to be. So.
The only thing that I would say that we would have to put in there, and this is a legal question, but that they would not be guaranteed a job as an aide.
Oh, no, and it actually doesn't say anything about that.
Well, I know, but I want to make sure we clarify that, because you might have a student that wants to be a teacher that.
Yeah, not a good
that
candidate,
Not
sure.
a good fit for ours.
Yeah, absolutely, but none of that is included in this. It's just our hope that we can, you know, help kids who might not
I agree.
otherwise have a pathway.
I agree.
So,
And we've had quite a few of our aides that we currently have that have taken advantage of the REACH program.
yes, Keith, do you know how many we've got right now?
I've got a call tomorrow at 9 o'clock, actually, with Reach University to get an update on that. The last number we had was about 38 individuals who were interested. Not all of those are actually enrolled, but we've got 38 so far that we know for sure that have reached out and, tried to explore that pathway.
Okay. I mean, I think it's great. I just don't want to I want to make sure we don't.
No,
fall
no,
into-
no, but ultimately, if, you know, for some kids, college is cost prohibitive, but they have a desire to become a teacher. That's just one option for it. To enroll in REACH, you are required to be full-time employed by a school district. That is their program, and that's the way they have everything structured. But like I said, this will just give us an opportunity to begin to identify those candidates. And if they go to UNA or Alabama or Auburn or Tennessee, they could, we hope, come back and work for us because they've, you know, worked through this program in our schools. We did last year start offering an extended learning opportunity for our students where if they're inside their own feeder pattern, they can go and work in the elementary school of their feeder pattern under the supervision of a mentor teacher. And so that would become kind of a combination with this, so we can actually see what they can do. But that would be, you know, an elective that they could take once they get all of their core coursework out of the way.
We used to have this over at the Career Technical Center. We had the teacher ed prep program, and then it went away. And so we're just, now that it's back, we're trying to take advantage of. And you've probably seen the news articles about the teacher shortages all across the state and nation. So this is just another route to try and add to our pool applicants, so, especially if they're our own.
And so it'll be a slow start because this wasn't in the course catalog at the beginning, I mean, at the end of the year when they were doing their 4-year plans and all of that. But as soon as you guys approve this, we'll start advertising it and schedule edits can be made and things like that so we can get kids enrolled. So, any other
Make some
questions?
counselors happy.
Yeah. They'll be really excited with me.
I think it's great.
Yeah. Okay,
Thanks,
thank
Mrs.
you.
Bass.
Next year,
We can clap tonight. You have a hard copy of the calendar draft. It's been sent to Madison City and to Huntsville City. They have not responded as to what they're planning on doing yet. But typically, they follow our lead, is usually what happens. Of course, Madison is going, you know, they have a new interim right now, so, but if you look at it, start date for teachers, July, this is the 27, 28. It's, start date on a Wednesday, the 28th. The first day for students would be August 4th, very similar to what we've been doing traditionally. An e-learning day on Friday, September the 3rd, that would butt up to the, Labor Day. And then fall break, the 4th through the 8th. Veterans Day, the full week at Thanksgiving, and then half day on the 17th for tests in December, and then 2 weeks off for Christmas, professional learning on the 3rd when we come back in January, and then, of course, Martin Luther and Presidents. With President's Day, that would be the other e-learning day, and that would be on the 18th, so that'd be the Friday before. And then March, you'd have fall break, we'd have a weather day on Friday, the 14th. And then graduation's on the 23rd and the 24th, a professional development day on the Thursday, and we'd wrap it all up before, Memorial Day. So just first cut.
Kind of.
Once you guys have seen it, we'll send this to policy for them to view, and we'll also let, I'll let Clarence and, Eric know over in Madison and Huntsville that, you know, you guys have now seen it, so that they can start looking at it as well, so.
Do we ever, I think maybe the first year I was on the board, which was 2 times ago, do we ever send this to like Lincoln County as well, since several of our teachers across the state line may have kids, we don't ever?
No, we've never sent it to Lincoln County. It has gone over to, I think, Athens and Limestone County.
I just know some of our teachers, they live there, come across the board, and some of the
Yeah.
kids go just to,
But, I don't know what, do y'all know offhand, do they have a 200-day? There's something different up in Limestone County or Lincoln County, Tennessee, that they, cause they can drop at, you know, they have extra days built in that they can take weather days for. But no, I don't recall ever sending it to up north. We have looked at, Athens and Limestone though. The main thing was to get with Huntsville and with Madison.
because a lot of our teachers live in that, and their kids, you know,
Yeah.
it's,
So, but if you guys see anything glaring, and if you guys wanna look at it and send any, you know, questions or anything that you wanna look at, you know, we'll be happy to look at it, but this was the first cut at it. We try and do this usually during the summer for the next year, so that they can start planning their fall and spring break and their trips and all, so. That's that, and then we're on to Mr. Perkins, and Students Services Update, and we're almost done with informational items.
okay, good.
Mr. Perkins hasn't been able to talk for a while, so I hope you all are ready to
This is really fast. It's really not really an update. Just want to kind of let you all kind of know what you're going to vote on tonight. So in the administrative items, you have 2 documents that every summer we're required to approve a code of conduct. This summer, there's not any real changes to the code of conduct. Matter of fact, there are no changes to the code of conduct. If we had to change something, we would have had to send it to LDF and DOJ so that they could have 60 days to review it. But because they're staying the same, we didn't have to do that this time. So only thing that you'll see that might be different in there are dates, calendar, stuff like that. So names, it wouldn't be anything big. Our handbook is a compilation of board policy, processes and procedures that parents can actually will be able to look at. In that handbook, we have pulled together information from all the different departments so that parents can have a quick guide to be able to go and look at where things actually are. But it's just a compilation of policies, procedures, State Department updates, things of that nature. So it's not, there are adjustments, but there are adjustments based off of what comes down to us, based off of what needs to take place within our district that we've already been working through. So if you have any questions, I know I sent that to you probably about a month ago. I don't know if you've had a chance to go back and look at it again, because I know you looked at it back then. But if you have any questions, I'm here to answer any of them at that time. So that's all I got.
Thank you. All right, we're ready for administrative items.
Okay. Mr. Superintendent. All right. Go with it.
I recommend approval of the 2026-2027 Madison County School System Student Code of Conduct as submitted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All in favor.
I recommend approval of the 2026-2027 Madison County School System's Parent-Student Handbook as submitted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All in favor.
I recommend approval of the 2026-2027 Madison County School System Academic Guide as submitted.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I recommend approval of the addendum to the Madison County Sheriff's Office SRO MOU as submitted.
I have a motion and a second. Donna?
Motion.
That's what I thought. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All in favor.
I recommend approval of the May 2026 financial statements and payments of bills as submitted.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Am I winning the motions right now? All right.
I recommend approval of the bid as submitted.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All in favor.
I recommend approval of the bid for the Meridianville Middle School roofing project as submitted.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All in favor.
I recommend approval of the physical therapist job description as submitted.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All in favor. BB and BB. That's easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I recommend approval of the contract for services as submitted.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All in favor.
I recommend approval of the personnel items as submitted.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I recommend approval of the team's contracts as submitted.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I recommend approval of the probationary assistant principal contracts as submitted.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And I recommend approval of the supplemental contracts and the discontinued contracts as submitted.
Man, come on.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. I knew it was coming. Any discussion?
Yeah. No.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All in favor?
We need executive session, sir.
I'll make a motion, we go to executive session.
Before you do this,
Hang on.
so you have two executive sessions
Yes.
on the agenda. Can we go ahead and do the certification?
Let's do the
for-
certification.
For the real estate one? I need
Yes.
all of you to certify that you do not have an ownership interest in the property to be discussed.
Yes, I do not.
Correct?
Correct, I do not.
I do not.
Okay, thank you. Just because once you stop, that needs to be in the broadcast. Okay. Thank you, I'm sorry.
Now I'll accept.
My
the-
motion still stands for executive session.
Second.
Thank you.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? So we will do the, before we vote, we'll do the the unique transfer first, and then we'll come back in to vote on that only.
That's correct. And then you'll do another motion.
I was trying to figure out what Jessica was asking me about the camera. Oh, I got you. We got a phone, though. We
We're
will
gonna take a
take our
picture with-
picture with you before you go.
Thank you for
Yes.
coming, and our board meetings normally don't last that long, but we had a lot of information tonight. So,
You chose a bad one.
They should just give you your promotion now and.
we have had 5-minute board meetings before, so,
But we do goof off like we do.
yes.
So we'll come back in and vote on that unique transfer, but then we'll go back into executive session, in which none of us have any ownership in the property that, in discussion, in the real estate we're
Right.
discussing.
And then you will not.
And then we will not vote on anything past that. So we got a motion and a second, and that's the discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All in favor. We're in executive, we're gonna get a picture with him, and then